Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Lorepod Podcast. I'm your host, Dakota Morgan, coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona. And today, we're going to be talking about a little bit of DC Comics, folks. That's right. What are we talking about specifically? Well, you click the title, so you fucking know. But it is Red Lantern Supergirl, a New 52 series that I read during the New 52 era, and boy, did I love it. Also, New 52, I will definitely say, criminally underrated. I love how in the middle of this recording, Pedro the kitty decided to go on a little screaming spree. Okay, besides that point, yes, we're talking about it, and New 52 is the era, whereas the reboots for the original continuity, well, one of the many reboots from back in the day in the mid-2000s. Now, there was plenty of storylines, and again, I'm going to say New 52, criminally underrated. Loads of storyline potential to see. Oh, so many good fucking things. Besides the point, during this time, we had plenty of different series. We had Red Lantern, Supergirl, and, of course, Superman and such, and let's dive into how in this time period, Kara Zor-El became a Red Lantern. I should also make it clear, because there's multiple incarnations of Supergirl, and yes, one day we will describe those in this History of this podcast, but we're going to be looking at a classic Supergirl from New 52. Superman did arrive before she did, and of course what happened is she got stuck in the rotation of Earth's sun while he grew up and became Superman, making her absorb loads of yellow sun radiation, and of course, maybe being a little bit more powerful than he is, but we shall see. She lands, but she is suppressing a lot of anger. She has had to see Krypton die again due to the World Killers, and she's been fighting many, many battles, and everybody around her just keeps asking her, I understand, I know what's going on with you, you're the last daughter of Krypton, I understand, and it's a lot for her to take in, as it would be for any alien, human being, or any being. When you're fighting non-stop, everybody's trying to say, oh, I understand, really maybe just trying to get in your skirt, who knows. But then also, realistically, you're just non-stop. The burnout's going to be real, and the burnout just leads to anger, which is what is happening here. Of course, so on the Red Lantern side of things, during this time, Green Lantern Guy Gardner was ordered by Green Lantern Hal Jordan, who's commander of the Corps at the moment, was very curious to see what the Red Lanterns were up to. So he ordered Guy to infiltrate the Red Lanterns, who, I mean, shockingly, it's Guy Gardner, infiltrated without ease, was able to go in there, and due to a little coup, replaced Atrocitus as the leader of the Red Lanterns. This guy's like, I like these better. By the way, his outfit was really cool. He also grew a kind of dope, like, handlebar mustache, but kind of not. It made it work. It made it really work. And who would have thought a propped collar would look good in the mid-2000s? But right before Atrocitus was replaced as leader, he sent out hundreds of rings into space, really. And Red Lanterns, of course, you know, the Green Lanterns, willpower, yellow, fear. Red Lanterns, oh, they're anger. So people and beings of great anger is who gets those rings. And the rings will find you. So, back on Earth, though, dealing with the weeks of hell that Kara Zor-El's been dealing with, Lobo. And this isn't the biker Lobo. This is sexy, slim, gonna steal your wife kind of Lobo. He attacks Supergirl, which I think he's dead now, if I remember correctly. Thank God. He attacks Supergirl, and she just snaps. She breaks, her anger gets let out, and he's even like, oh my God. He's like, what's happening here? And I was just here for bounty. When, like, you're gonna kill me? You might actually be able to. And he's pretty much invincible, but it really teeters the line. And when this happens, the Red Lantern ring does appear. Context, though, when you become a Red Lantern, you get sent into a blind rage monster, and you start shooting napalm from your mouth. And when you're a Kryptonian on top of it, you might have a pretty bad fucking day. But the only way to stop this is going to be from the ring taking you or another Red Lantern ring getting you and taking you to the blood pool on their home planet. That helps calm you down and puts your brain into a nice spot. But she's on Earth and no one's coming to help her right now. Her best friend at the time, Silver Banshee, who at the time she also didn't know was Silver Banshee, which that's going to fuck you up, the Superman villain there, goes in to stop her. And she knew she's going to have to fight her and such too. So they go into a fitting battle. Obviously not going to win when you have a rage-filled Kryptonian that's not got a lantern ring and napalm mouth. But while they are fighting, Kara does see a little bit of sanity because of her being able to be Kryptonian and, I guess, loophole. But she's able to see that and knows that she's going to kill her friend, which she doesn't want to do, clearly. So with that, she just flies off into space. She's like, I'm going to kill everybody. I don't want to do this. And she zips off into space and to just go straight off. And it's like, I'm trying to avoid things, trying not to, kill everybody and things that she does secretly care about. And what happens when you're a lantern and you start running into space blindly? You run into the Green Lanterns. She just literally runs into Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, who can try to contain her, but sees that she's a Red Lantern and takes her to Guy. This is also a big deal because he recognizes the Kryptonian logo on her as well. and figures it as a possible tie into Superman. This is also in the New 52 rebooted continuity, so we haven't really had things like Zod or some shit like that yet, I believe. Or Hal doesn't really know that there might be a lot of bad Kryptonians, because he just sees Superman from time to time, doesn't really know what else kind of happens with Kryptonian villains yet. And what happens when they get to the planet? Well, Guy and the rest of the Red Lantern Corps that are available takes all of them to push her into the pool, which they do, and she successfully is able to calm down and has her brain back a little bit and can, have conversations. Now, Guy and Hal both are like, how the hell do we tell Superman about this? That is their big thing. It's like, well, anybody want to tell Clark that his cousin, apparently, she's down here now, last daughter of Krypton? She's now a Red Lantern, and you kind of can't take that back. What are we going to do here? Hal leaves this guy in charge of the situation here because Hal Jordan has a shit ton he is dealing with during this time, and he's like, all right, Guy, you're a Red Lantern. This is a Red Lantern situation. You're on your own. This is when we do find out, though, that the Red Lanterns, due to a deal with Hal and the Green Lantern Corps, they're the ones actually patrolling Earth, which is kind of wild. So as they do go back on the Earth, though, they kind of hanging out in a bar. And this is where Guy has the whole idea to go talk to Superman. And he talks to the other Red Lanterns about it and such. But, of course, Supergirl has super hearing. And so this is where she hears it and is like, what the fuck? You betrayed me. Because, again, she's dealing with all these people just trying to help her, doing constant burnout, all this shit. And she's going through a lot of emotional trauma of, friends, family, and everything like that dying all around her. And, a lot of literally a shit ton of pressure. Clark at least had the forte to, grow up knowing this shit. She had just got everything slammed on her at once. And it's like, hey, go fight these wars. It's like, oh, God. Superman does arrive onto the scene there and fights him in a big battle where she literally hits him with a ship. Now, during this battle, she does admit that the ring is connected to her heart and it's basically stuck. And she doesn't want help. And she knows she's going to be Red Lantern. And she decides to join the Red Lantern Corps officially and help them out. I mean, she's got really no other fucking choice. But besides that, she doesn't want more help from people. And this Clark's just helping her and guiding her along the way. Supergirl does help in a lot of Red Lantern storylines, though. We're going to flash forward a little bit here because these are all separate. Red Lantern, Supergirl does help in the battle against Atrocitus, who's trying to rise back up and start a big-ass Red Lantern Civil War. During this time, she actually makes friends with a lot of Red Lanterns who do help her along the way, guide her, care for her, and was kind of the better therapy that she needed. Who would have thought? Now, before the giant Red Lantern Civil War begins, Guy Gardner, who has learned to care and compassionate for Supergirl, decides, I need to kick you out for your own safety because I don't want anything to happen to you. You're kind of a high-risk target. You're the last of your kind in a way, not really, but it's what they're all thinking. And he tells her, Mogo, the giant living Green Lantern planet, it might be the only thing that can save her. Now, she does leave after a very heartfelt goodbye to everybody and the Guy. But what happens? The World Killers, who did bring back Krypton, and then she had to destroy it again, in a previous story, have found her. Like, symbiote-looking World Killer, at least. They do battle it out above Earth when they run into each other. And this is where we find out that it absorbs the host of that planet's most powerful being, and that's how that World Killer does survive. Because Supergirl thinks she kills him at first. Which, I mean, is it going to be that bad? When your name's a World Killer, if we kill that one, isn't that fine? These giant beings, great planets, they have to kill again. Come on. We can let her have this one. Let her have it. More on that later. So as I do fall into Earth, this is where we got to give a little bit of New 52 context. During this time, in this whole era of stuff, Superman has been infected with the Doomsday virus, a virus from Doomsday who infects Clark and actually turns him into Doomsday, which is a whole wonderful experience that maybe one day we'll cover on here. Because I actually really fucking enjoyed that storyline. It was cool. So he had to leave. They were trying to figure out ways to stop him, yada, yada. And he leaves Earth. Why? Well, because they blew up a kryptonite nuke, and the whole atmosphere is filled with kryptonite. Because, of course, why not? And what happens? Well, Supergirl's falling into that and realizes, I'm going to die. So and the only thing keeping me alive right now is my Red Lantern ring. And this guy is trying to absorb me. So he's trying, the World Killer's trying to absorb Kara right now. She decides, it's a good way to go out. And it says, ring, space-time jump me right into the sun. So as they try to do that, she goes into the sun and with the World Killer in tow, battling him out, goes into it, rips off her ring because she knows she's probably going to die from that. Rips off her ring. But what happens? She gets taken out by the radiation. World Killer quickly escapes because he's like, fuck you, I've been around millennia. And then just leaves. All right, what happens though with this? Well, World Killer leaves. He decides, I'm going to go for Doomsday Superman, and that's going to be my new host, and it's going to cause a whole lot of problems. Which, okay, whatever. And then what happens? Supergirl appears. We thought she was dead, which they're not going to kill her off in a Red Lantern storyline. You were a fool to think so. She appears and is totally normal looking. Somehow got a brand new set of clothes and all. Her clothes are fine. She doesn't have Red Lantern ring no more. No Red Lantern powers. Normal Supergirl. She grabs the World Killer and throws him into the heart of the sun. Because I guess she decides, now I can actually fucking kill him. And effectively takes him out. We were worried about killing him, and then she just kills him. She's like, fuck this. And after this, Supergirl does try to return to Earth, who, by the way, the planet in New 52 time at the period of this is going through a lot of hell and a lot of crazy ass shit. So she's like, all right, now I need to go back. I did my therapy of the Red Lantern Corps, and now it's time to go back and help out where I can. And then that ties into Superman Doomsday and much, much more. But everybody, this has been the Red Daughter of Krypton storyline. And I absolutely love it. It's a cool fucking concept. We never see really Kryptonians with power rings at all because, why would you? So it's a cool concept to give it to Red Lantern and Supergirl and shit. Absolutely awesome. I think it's cool. Is there some hidden things in there? And it's a little bit kind of weird with, anger, female anger, a little bit on there, but I think it actually handles it pretty damn well. Let me know, everybody, on social media. What do you think? Also, be sure to subscribe to the Lorepod Podcast for new episodes every week. And if you want to follow me on social media, in the description box down below, I'm on Instagram at Dakota_Morgan97, X at DakotaMorgan3, and a YouTube channel if you're watching this on there. Subscribe. Dakota Morgan on YouTube. Thanks, everybody. And as always, remember, stay creative.